And remember, I'll be back later. Good evening. It is I, Roncar. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. I hope you enjoyed the meditation. It was an interesting one, inasmuch as you left with a present, a small bit of God, the realization that God is within you. That is an important point for everyone to think about and to remember. There is no separation between you and God. God created everything in this universe from the substance of his own being. And so everything has a part of God within them. And it's an important understanding that you need, for it allows you to develop the faith that you need. The faith in yourself to know that whatever you have is part of God and part of God's being. And so you are one with God in all ways. Yes, that is an alarm the medium has set. I do not know how to turn it off, so it will just have to ring as long as it rings. Now, when people are hypnotized, they are sometimes given a post-hypnotic suggestion that upon a certain sound or something, they will act or do something in a certain way. And so what I am suggesting to you is that this ringing sound, should you hear it, that this ringing sound will put you into that state of understanding that you are God. And as such, you have all the powers of God. But the most important power, of course, is the power of creation, where you can create the life that you wish, that you can create whatever it is you need, because you are a powerful creature, since God is part of you. And not only can you create, but you can heal, you can solve problems, you can do many different things with increased power and understanding. You can find the solutions that you need by simply going within yourself and finding that point which is one with God. And then that point at that point, you will be able to be in connection with God. And you will be able to solve your problems. You will be able to understand things that you didn't understand. You will be able to do anything that you need to do from the point of God that is within you. For you are truly blessed with oneness with God at every moment in your life. And so everything is yours for the asking. You have the faith to know that all solutions come from within you, that you can create whatever it is you need to manifest in your life. This knowledge This understanding will enhance your life, give you a wonderful life, help you to create a wonderful life. And so it is. Now, are there any questions for me in this evening?
I have one.
Yes, please.
So, I got this bracelet. It was put on me at a metaphysical shop when Brahms was diagnosed with the FIP. So I'll just show it to you. It has the cross here, and it has like a couple of the trinkets.
Okay.
So the lady that put it on me she said it's for protection. I haven't taken it off because it doesn't come off unless you cut it off. So I had it on since last July when he was diagnosed. So I was sitting on my couch a couple days ago, and I got an email, and it was like one of those, like, because I have pet insurance for them. So it was one of those things that come up about like different types of uh like advertisements, like what to do if a dog has anxiety, different treats and stuff like that. And FIP came up, which is his condition, and it was just like saying like about the medication that they have out now. Like cats would just automatically die before this medication came out, which it's obviously black marketed medication, so it's not covered by insurance. So they were talking about that they came out with this medication and everything like that, and they've seen like 95% of the cats cure rate and stuff like that. And but they, because it's so new, they don't know the outcome, and I got like nervous, and all of a sudden one of the trinkets fell off my bracelet, like one of the little circular things. And then I was like, oh, is that a good sign? Is it telling me that the stone took the illness and he's healed?
Well, first of all, you gave your cat what he needed to be healed. And yes, he is healed. Is the fact that the trinket fell off your bracelet an indication? It could be. But it isn't important. In knowing that your cat is healed, that Brahms is healed, he is well. You see every evidence that he is a perfectly healthy cat. And while you feel you must wait a little while for the final confirmation, the fact is he is healed. And you need only to know that he is healed. It is unfortunate that sometimes in a metaphysical situation, people begin to question an event which had no particular significance as perhaps this event has significance. And if you like to worry, and you still like to worry, thinking about all possibilities, you would focus in on all the negative possibilities instead of the permanent, I do not mean to say permanent, instead of the good possibilities. So if the trinket falling off your bracelet had any significance, what you should be sure of and need to know is that the trinket fell off the bracelet because it was no longer needed in the healing of Brahms, that he is healed in every way. And that trinket is now insignificant to the need for him to be healed because he is already healed. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
That smile is good. It is always important when something surprising or mysterious happens. You have the choice to think the worst or to think the best. And to think the best is what will make you happy. And that is the one you should choose to think. Ignore possible negative connotations and know that it is the most correct connotation, is the one that indicates what you want to have happen is happening.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Are there other questions? There are no other questions. Everyone has come to listen to other people's questions and no one's asking a question. So someone must ask a question. Everybody else is waiting on you.
Okay, I'll ask you. I was wondering if you have any indication as to what's going on with the weather. All of these tornadoes and the great amount of snow that fell in California and the flooding. If you have any, any insight.
Well, such extraordinary weather conditions have always manifested from time to time. Now, if we want to look at it on a metaphysical point of view, in California, where there has been a drought and not enough water to keep the trees alive or the grasses alive, and people are having water restrictions, many people began to wish for water and to pray that it rains. And if you have a tremendous number of people praying that water in whatever form is going to descend upon them, you are sure to get an overpowering result. Do you understand? So if people, many people, hundreds of people have been praying for rain, they got a lot of rain. Now, nobody prays for tornadoes. However, they have been known to manifest in these areas. And the weather has been rather extreme lately. And so we are more prone to manifest this type of a problem. In fact, if you are bringing in water over California and disturbing weather, so to speak, in that it is so extreme, it is the normal progress of weather to move from the west through to the east. And those storms are often the most violent or the ones that bring about the most extreme weather. When they start at the West Coast and they begin to move across the country, sometimes atmospheric conditions are such that they continue to get all the moisture that they need. There are temperature differences which help to cause the violent winds. And these are the things that bring about destructive amounts of wind. And that is what has happened. You need not ask what has happened with the weather. It is a normal, from time to time, increase in extreme conditions, which has caused much difficulties. I do not know how else to express it. Again, it is what you assign to the significance of what you have seen. If you think it is a bad omen, or there is some reason other than a normal weather pattern that has brought abnormal weather with it, and in truth, it is not that abnormal. It has just been concentrated. There were things that were not normal before, but you rarely think of the number of days with good sunny weather and no rain as being a problem. Everyone likes that until things begin to die because they have no water. And then they realize that it is essential to have rain. But all that sunny weather was just abnormal. And so you have brought it further east, and it showed up as tornadoes, and it has brought death and destruction. But what is important to remember is that out of death, there is a rejuvenation of the area out of the tornado. While it is extremely traumatic for those people who are experiencing it, the truth of the matter is that they will rebuild. They will triumph over the situation. And that it is often through struggle that we make progress in this world. So do not think of it as something terrible. It can make you sad if you wish. You can be sad over it, and you could send love and healing to those people who have suffered. And you can know that everything they need to rebuild will come their way. And with your knowledge, you will be helping to manifest exactly what you are thinking. That there will be building materials. There will be help. That these people will reestablish good lives for themselves. And all will be well again. Thank you for the question. Are there any other questions?
I have a question. I wanted to know if you could see how ChatGPT is going to affect our children's education, how it will be used or if it will not be used, and how far it will go.
That is an interesting question. For those of you who may not be aware, ChatGPT is an AI computer program which can write papers, term papers. It can write almost anything. And because it is connected to the World Wide Web and encyclopedias and all knowledge, the information that it needs to write intelligently on any project is right there with it. And so you can ask it to write a term paper on perhaps weather phenomena and do it as if it was a senior in high school or a sophomore in high school. And maybe it will even make spelling errors if you tell it to write as if it is a fifth grader. And it will take knowledge appropriate for that age level, and it will write the paper for the child. So that is really what the question was. Since children, who will surely learn about this program, have the ability to ask it to write their compositions, as opposed to doing it themselves, how will it affect their education? They no longer will have to look up information about weather. They no longer have to look up the spelling of words. Of course, on a computer, which your children all have, there is spell check, which tells them when they have made a mistake and even proposes how to spell the word correctly. So they already have that on their computer. How will it affect their education? Give me just a moment and I will try to give you an answer. We have seen many changes in technology over many years. Some of them we no longer think about because they are so commonplace, such as the calculator. When the calculator first came out, there was the question of children using it in school. If they had calculators, how are they going to learn division or multiplication, subtraction? You put it into the computer and you get the answer. There was no need to learn the techniques on how to solve the problem yourself. And so therefore, the fear was that children would not learn. And perhaps they have not learned. They have given them techniques to solve the problems when they are young, which, in the opinion of some, have made it more complicated to solve any problem, but they had to do them or use these techniques in school anyway. And when they get further along into the higher grades, they no longer have to use those techniques and can use a computer. Many things have changed, and sometimes it has not been for the best, such as children did not learn how to write cursive. Yes, they learned how to sign their name in cursive because it was necessary for their future, that they would have to sign their name on checks, on deeds, on many documents. They would need to know how to sign their name, not just spell their name. But they did not learn to read cursive necessarily. So as a result, they are ignorant in that area. And does that make a difference if the children print everything that they need to communicate? So there have been adjustments in education over many years due to technology. And this will just be another one. Perhaps all the children will have to write their compositions and their papers in school with the teacher watching. Does that mean they cannot use their computers to do research? Who knows what will be decided? But it will work out for the best because it always does. And the use of technology has not stopped progress in scientific and technical fields. It has only enhanced it. And so do not worry about how it will affect them. It will have an effect, but it will all work out for the best. And people would say, what if there is a power failure and you cannot charge your computer's battery? How will you work? How will you find anything out? Well, it is a little too late for that. There are no encyclopedias. They're all online. And so those type of problems are thinking of the worst instead of thinking of the best. So while it was an excellent question, I will only say that it will be dealt with. It will be coped. Teachers will teach, and students will still learn. And maybe they will simply dictate their papers and not worry about spelling, not worry about good sentences, because the programs already adjust the sentence to make it a good sentence. Everybody will use technology at some point. And children, adults, let's say, everyone uses technology at some point, and adults may even lose their own knowledge that they were taught about spelling and multiplication and division and complex geometry, complex math. But they will have it, be taught it for reasons, and perhaps they will forget it. And they will simply use their AI, their intelligence, but there will be some displacement, more for adults than it is for children. Well, who needs all those writers there are to explain things to us in the future when our computer can simply write a paper at the level for which we understand and can comprehend, and so increase our own knowledge? Are there other questions? It is a particularly quiet night. Then if there are no other questions, it will be time for me to say goodnight. And so I wish you all a wonderful week. I give you all my blessings. Good night. Hi, I'm back. Okay, well, there weren't too many questions tonight, but it was nice to be here with you all. I hope you've enjoyed the evening. And, well, remember, I love you all. Good night.
Right.